What is up, everybody? It's CryptoMonk speaking, and welcome to another session, to another trading broadcast of our 14-day free trading congress. Listen, everybody, I'm super excited. I always am excited about the shows, but it's not really often that we have so many guests, and I mean so many big names, so many crypto people. Crypto people in the house, which is full of degenerate traders this very time, because we have MacroCRG, we have JJCycles, we have KongBTC, we have all the best people that you can get right now, and we are going to discuss around the round table, kind of like a different format, our thoughts, let it go, let it go, let it flow, about trading, about markets, about crypto markets, legacy markets, and whatever you guys also want us to talk and discuss. If you guys are ready for the show, for another trading session, trading broadcast of our 14th Free Trading Congress. Make sure you stay tuned. We are going there right in a moment. Welcome, welcome, welcome. MacroCRG, JJCycles, KongBTC. What is good, homies? What's up? What's good?
Yo, what's up, man?
It's good to be here, man.
I love it. I love it. Well, good to see you to start with. I'm super excited, because we are friends, and it's not really often that you have a lot of friends in one place. And this is even like finer, better to discuss very freely in a very chill mode, our thoughts, our streams, our streamline about the markets, about trading, about tips that people may get, sharing some overall thoughts, this is what we are going to discuss. And everybody, make sure that if you've just joined our 14-day free trading congress, you already smash the likes and hit the subscribe button, click your notifications bells on. You're not going to regret it. We'll have a giveaway going later on. But before we do that, I want to open a roundtable discussion with very first question from me, which is, what the hell is happening with Bitcoin? MacroCRG, buddy, what's up?
Hello, Birb. Hello, everyone. It was a lovely little bear trap this morning, wasn't it? I absolutely loved that, where the low was taken and then everyone's screaming, "Oh, it's over!" Straight back up with a lot of volume. So yeah, I enjoyed that this morning. I was scared for a few minutes, but it's not uncommon for the weekly low to be printed on the first day, and then whether it reverses today or turn around Tuesday, it's not uncommon. So yeah, I think Bitcoin's gonna keep pumping here. Well, maybe not from this little pullback, because that was a good 4-5% move this morning. But let me see, I tweeted about, I think we go up to the golden pocket around 62k, and then it's time to evaluate. I'd love for that to happen this week, but yeah, my focus is mainly on altcoins.
Okay.
Right,
We'll go to the altcoins session part right in the moment. JJCycle, buddy, what the mechanical engineer can tell right now about Bitcoin? What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but we have this CME thing and it's still working. There was a gap, I think it was 58.2, and we had to fill it. And I believe that's what happened this morning.
Okay.
From here, it's basically up only as I see it. When you zoom out on the 1 week chart, yeah, you can see that the distribution zone from May, where we crashed from, we basically flipped that on a weekly basis, and that's pretty much insane to me.
Yeah, I tell you what, very quick. I'm not sure if this is also your experience, guys, but yesterday, listen, I got my head was literally breaking. I posted a bullish chart on Twitter, or whatever bullish tweet, and people were fucking mad. They got completely insane. I swear, in my life, I'd never seen so many people butthurt about somebody else tweeting bullish tweet in my life. This is the first time. This was literally the biggest pile of shit I got, in comments. And the only reason was, hear me out. The only reason was that instead of like, my narrative was that we are supposed to, just target, 100K before the year ends. And before I, like, one of thousands of tweets that I put out, basically said that I would expect 100K for Bitcoin, or the new all-time highs, to come in the next few weeks. While yesterday I dropped a tweet that would say I still expect Bitcoin to target 100K in the next 2-3 months. So next few weeks, next 2-3 months, and people were completely brain dead. They were like, they literally like, went crazy and mad about me saying few weeks instead of saying few weeks. I said 2-3 months, which also includes the few weeks naturally. So this is like some insane shitstorm that is going through that crypto Twitter sentiment. I don't know how you take it, but my mind was blown yesterday. I swear.
It's hilarious how that dynamic works, because I mean, one of the first things you learn in trading is strip the emotion away. And if all else fails, just buy support and sell resistance. But by the time price actually gets to support, your average Joe's already been blown out. So whenever, like when you were tweeting at support being bullish, the average Joe is pissed off and salty because they've already been liquidated. So they're angry. And I think there's a very strong correlation between angry reply guys and market direction. So you get bullish, we approach support, you tweet bullish, angry reply guys come out, and that's kind of a signal. It's the same when Bitcoin's pumping, but it's approaching resistance. If you tweet something bearish, you get an army after you in the replies. But it just adds confluence, doesn't it?
Let me show you. You have to read it. You have to read it, right? So this is the tweet I put out. So I said, I'm still sure we'll see 100K in the next 2-3 months, right? And people, like, there were some comments, of course, like backlashing, plan B as much as they can because, well, whatever. So the guy says everyone should still respect like plan B. We'll make mistakes and we'll learn. So basically, that was the sentiment, right? I mean, why should we be thankful for a model that's about to get invalidated? It's like saying be thankful for this BS you just got fed and made financial decisions on. It's ridiculous and will crush the market. Okay, so hear me out. This is one. Next one says, I blocked so many people. Like,
you actually blocked them all?
Bro, like whenever I cannot stand stupidity, I get aggressive when I see stupidity. I swear,
So in order liberated and just going on a blocking spree and blocking stupidity, it feels good.
I smell stupidity. I smell stupidity from a fucking distance. I tell you what. So there is another one. This is my favorite. By the way, I'm not intending to like roast these poor people. I'm just saying, about the sentiment. I'm completely objective. I have no fucking idea who the people are. So it says not sold, because I said sold from noobs is speaking now after they got liquidated. Not sold from noobs, sold from people believing you when you said the parabola was about to kick off over and over again. Now you are saying in the next few months. Now the market is tanking yet again. Let's look at the market, right? We were here. Be honest with people. None of you influencers have clue what will happen. There goes, guys. You're right, Meng. The top is in, and all the influencers just creating exit liquidity or just can't see the top. What the fuck is that?
Of course.
I think one of the biggest problems is people that follow us. They think we're some fucking demigods and we know all. At the end of the day, number one, we're just humans, exactly the same as them, just shouting shit of our opinions on the market. So who the fuck knows? I mean, we don't know better than anyone else.
Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose.
Exactly. And I think people have such short memories. Like, I mean, you can call a 600% move in an all, and then you can say, oh, I think we're going up here, and then Bitcoin goes down 0.5%. And then the pitchforks come out,
Insane.
How dare you? How dare you not predict a 0.5% move?
Bro, again, just see, literally under the same tweet I made, right? The same tweet, I'm still sure we'll see 100K next 2-3 months. And people were like, I thought you said weeks. Last week it was weeks, now it's months. Not in 1 month. I thought you said 2 weeks ago we'll see 90 end of November. Your sentiment quickly changed. LMAO. Bitcoin stop making crazy predictions to begin with, please. Like, if that is not a bottom signal, I don't fucking know what that is.
It is a bottom
Yes.
signal. And what people don't realize is you've got to change your opinion based on evolving data. So say I say Bitcoin's going to 90K by the end of November. Even though Bitcoin's gone from 30K to 69K in what, a month, 6 weeks, whatever it was, couple of months. But then all of a sudden sellers step in and you think, oh, wait, hold on a minute. It's not going to be as easy a journey as I thought. So you modify your expectations based on incoming market data, but people don't want to hear that. People just want to hear 100% conviction on everything, and that's partly why they fail, because they can't kind of alter the analysis.
I mean, the funniest stuff you were able to see was whenever I started like really going completely ham into Litecoin, which was like $140, and like basically posting about it every single day. And then all these people are like, yeah, but it's dead coin, it's never moving, you're gonna lose money, like all of that. And I'm like, yeah, thank you. Like literally all these guys were like, why I was posting every single day, because I knew that all these guys, they're gonna be the ones then buying our back. So I don't know, $500 of Litecoin, you know. So yeah, it just seems like people are like very, very emotional, following the prices way too much. And I think this was also what was happening today with Bitcoin. Like you saw nine red hourly candles, so like 1 hourly candles, 8 or 9 pieces in a row, just simply red going down, down, down. And that was already like one of the biggest signs for me that like this is something going on. Mostly you see like shebang like that when Binance is down, or like something
So
unusual.
we thought this was the
happening.
end.
Yeah, exactly. And then everybody is like, okay, now this is literally going down to zero. Oh, why? What? Like I tweeted, especially for that. I tweeted, oh yeah, Bear's about to declare bankruptcy, and they're like, oh, so we're not going to 52K now. I'm like, dude, no. Why would we?
No. No, this is insane. This is insane.
And then it just starts pumping. And I mean, at the end, you're just fixing what was going wrong. So like, in my opinion, this is what we saw. Like we saw the movement down, and right now we just literally fixed this entire movement, and we have to see like what is happening from here on now. But like if you look on the 4 hourly and you zoom out a tiny bit on the 4 hourly, you do see that you have a nice higher low now, basically all the alts, Bitcoin included, and everything. So yeah, after such a nice retrace, now having another higher low, that is for me all I need to like re-enter a lot of the positions that I closed with like very high conviction.
Okay. No, but listen, I mean, this was so nuts about Litecoin, right? In specific, I want to hear, guys, your opinion about the Litecoins too. But basically, it literally had come to this extent that I was getting backlash from the people for posting Litecoin's charts, accusing me that Litecoin Foundation was sponsoring my tweets for putting out bullish tweets on Litecoin.
Yeah.
I'm speechless. I'm literally speechless.
I wish they would
my
pay us.
speech is taken away. I promise, right? Then put something on top like this is my favorite. No shit, man. It's been a month with the same price, and even if you zoom out, you can see that we are in deep shit. Okay, let's wait for a moment. Okay, let's play the chart. Even if you zoom out, right, you see we are in
actually
deep shit.
use the comments as a signal, or is it just funny and
I use it. No. Listen, I use it as a signal. Of course, like I'm well positioned. Basically because based on this sentiment changes and fluctuations, I loaded 29.6 and basically 41. So I'm pretty well positioned. So I don't need to do anything. But the quote continues. The quote continues very quick. I would not whatever been bothered if it was another regular month. But we are in the second most bullish month, and the price keeps dropping.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Deep in the shit.
I don't know what to say.
It's obvious.
I'm speechless. Tell me about Litecoin, guys. What do you think about Litecoin? Does Litecoin Foundation pay you for tweets or not?
I mean, I can hook you up. Like they pay me actually like 100 Litecoin per tweet. So I don't know what you've been
Charlie Lee. On. Charlie Lee delivering the pocket money into your door, right?
Yes.
Is the guy actually alive these days, Charlie Lee?
That's what I thought. So yeah. Anyway, JJCycle, what about you, buddy?
Can I switch topic or?
Because you hate Litecoin or what?
Get off Litecoin subject immediately.
Or you just don't want, or you just don't want to disclose Litecoin payments if you get from Litecoin Foundation.
Yeah, go to the topic first. Sensitive.
What's up? What do you propose?
This question is pressing me, and like, I think we all seen the 2013 fractal from Bitcoin with current, if you zoom out with the current cycle. Do you guys believe in it, or is it a meme, or will it be something completely different? Like, how do you guys see that?
Yeah,
go ahead, take it out, guys.
I mean, with fractals and like basically history repeating itself, I mean, it is a known fact, and we do know the seasonality. There is a reason why it's called Rectember. It's a reason why it's called October, and it's happening over and over again. And I mean, the 4-year cycles are also happening. And I mean, we are in a bull market right now, so you basically have to go buy it, and you have to go basically following the fractals, because they have been working without without missing so far. I mean, sure, it's not it's basically the third or the fourth cycle, depending on from where you see it, but it hasn't missed before. So you basically have to believe in it, and basically you follow it until it doesn't work anymore, and we enter like, I don't know, an endless bull market or an endless bear market.
Yeah, but I mean, the first part of this bull market, it was basically an up only without any substantial corrections. And then we got this mid-cycle correction similar to 2013. And in 2013, then we got another up only without any substantial correction. So my question is, do you see something similar playing out, or will it be something different?
In my case, yes, for sure. Like we're about to see the most like literally the most insane run on Bitcoin, and especially on altcoins and all the smaller shitcoins that we have ever seen. Like that in my eyes is literally like what is awaiting us all at the moment. Just people are once again just getting scared and shaken out by 1 to 2% moves, which is making me actually even more bullish, because people are not well positioned for this run, and these people that are not well positioned, they will be the fuel that is going to make this run even bigger.
I tell you what, by the way, if you guys want to back up your ideas, your thoughts, you are more than welcome to share your screen, of course, right? Just hit it on the bottom of the screen. There is like add screen, and we'll get you sorted. Anytime you want to share a screen, just go ahead. No need to ask.
Yeah, I think for me, it's what's potentially different, or arguably is different this time around. It's the amount of institutional, not just interest, but institutional involvement in crypto. Because if we look back at the other cycles, there's no institutions going balls deep, no institutions or countries going balls deep like it is this time around. So it was controlled by a smaller amount of people. So it could be a group of, I don't know, 100, 200 whales that could just say, right, it's over. For example, at the 20K top, they will have just cashed out and just for 2 years, it was just a complete bleed. But like what we saw this year, where in May it was collapse, but they re-entered. So in traditional finance, I mean, 10% a year is usually good. But I think we are entering a bit of a new paradigm because with the new generations coming through and the love of the meme stocks, the hunt for yield has changed because with the monetary policy and the drastic increase in the US money supply, young people don't want 10% a year. Young people aren't going to these old kind of like investment managers to handle their money. They want doggy coins and they want a 10x, you know. So in this new generation coming up, the hunt for yield is insatiable, and that's like DeFi and things like that. Ethereum going proof of stake. But to get back to the point, I don't think we're going to have kind of 2-3 year bear markets anymore. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, Bitcoin's just gone from 3K to 69K. We've just had a kind of 50-60% correction in Bitcoin. I do think this last push up will be the kind of the top. But instead of a kind of 2 year bear market, we might just see a 50% correction in a month or two, and then I kind of like short bull and bear markets, because these are like
more as a more volatile but similar to the S&P basically.
Exactly, because the institutions involved. If an institution gets a 2x in Bitcoin, they're likely to sell, lock the profit in for their quarterly report or their bi-yearly report, and then get it off the books, then re-enter. So yeah, I mean, who fucking knows? I have no idea what's going on. But I do think the next kind of 3 months is about locking in profits. I do intend to take 70% of my risk off the table. Hold it in stables, keep it in the system, hold it in stables, earning a nice yield, and then instead of the mindset, right, I'm out for 2 years. Just the mindset to say, right, I'll take individual opportunities when I see them. Because if you look at Chainlink, what they did during the last bear market, there are going to be outliers. But yeah,
sure. Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think then? Because like we have kind of like similar plan. Let's say, because you were saying stables, right? Do you have guys any other ideas where you're moving your money? Of course, provided it's not a secret. Do you have like your other favorite assets that you go to?
For me personally, is like crypto was the first sort of investment that I ever did in my life. I started pretty young, so I feel like I need to diversify at the end of this cycle for my own good. Because the majority of what I have is now in crypto.
For me, what I see is like it makes sense now to branch out into different stuff financially, simply, especially as you're taking profit. Obviously, I mean, you're gonna take some profit and you're gonna put it somewhere else, but not everything. And like for me personally, it's a lot of silver. Gold, sure, I like it, but more on watches. But silver is like one of the few things that I really am actually accumulating, like physical silver.
Yep.
And real estate. Like these two things are at the moment what is really.
We discussed it. We discussed a couple of times, right? Of the records, of the scenes, of the like streams. We discussed it a couple of times. I'm huge, and I mean like 100%, 110% huge fan of silver, right? Let me actually bring the chart very, very fast.
It's been painful this year, though, Birb. I have a lot of silver miners as well. Every time I check them, it's like a dagger in the heart.
No, like silver, I don't want to even call it as a problem, but the only quote unquote problem with silver is that it, for the most of the time, just goes flat, right? So you have nothing. You don't really have like some explosive movements. Instead, it's testing your patience, but instead of like climbing up, let's say like a stairway up, right? It just waits for most of the time and then it shoots up because of the way that supply is distributed on the planet. Like it's 20% of the global supply is only for investments purposes, right? So when the FOMO kicks in, it kicks in for real, and you see those vertical pumps just like you see in crypto. But until that happens, you have to go and actually just push through this local, wait years of waiting perhaps, and it's going flat. So I personally take it very similar to Litecoin, right? It rarely ever pumps, but when it pumps, nobody manages to fucking catch it because it's so fast.
Yeah.
So regardless then of the actual mechanism of the structure, let's say the way that the trend climbs, you still have practically the same return, if not bigger, over the same time scope, right? It's just different way of achieving that. Most of the time, let's say some altcoins, tend to move like subsequently higher in some sort of like an ascending sequence. But for Litecoin, it's just most of the time flat and then it shoots up, just like for the silver, right? So it's just the different way of arriving to the same levels. But the returns, I tell you what, let me actually just play this chart very quick.
The silver market is heavily manipulated as well. Or
of course it is.
The COMEX.
It is. I tell you what, COMEX, funnily enough, COMEX, for those who actually don't know that, COMEX is supposed to be the largest commodity exchange ever, right? And there are a lot of course, futures contracts. There's a lot of like, derivatives playing on silver. And there is like very, very few players, very few ETFs, very few actual like futures contracts that are truly backed by physical silver, which means that most of the time you're trading worthless paper. When the things come up, that you want to, let's say, realize your contract and take it in futures or take the options, then you cannot really exchange that, and the paper is worthless, right? So it doesn't give you ownership, although it says it should give you this ownership over it. So this is the chart, right? You see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So have a look. This is a monthly chart of silver, right? I played it like so many times. So this circular area like gets you the 50, which is the orange, the 50 month crossing over 200 month. We are talking about a couple of years averages, right? And they basically crossed. They've just crossed. Okay. So technically, it's of course naturally very bullish signal, but at the same time, because it's not really short-term time frame or medium-term time frame, just like you mostly use for the TA, it actually confirms some non-technical movements that are just seen and displayed in the charts. Those are not technical movements. This is a fundamental trend that is shaping up right now. And we're talking about, of course, inflationary environment. We are talking about like, the CPI, the inflation soaring. We are talking about the overall post-pandemic, problems with the trust towards the currency, towards the fiat, towards central banks, people losing jobs, and so on and so forth, right? So people are more likely than not, over the time, to choose commodities and hard assets over the papers, right? So now we have this. Now we have this confirmation from the TA side, but also like many fundamental driven. And last time something like that happened, if you take the chart, it happened in 2004, which is basically almost 18 years ago. 17, 18 years ago. This is the last time that silver was this bullish based on the chart. I'm buying a lot of silver. That's all I can say.
What blows my mind is that this structure you see on this time frame is so similar to Ethereum, Bitcoin right now.
Yeah, basically. That's the point. When it barely ever moves, but when it moves, it actually shoots up and pulls a very, very similar moves to what crypto does. And this is not very often to see, right?
It's got this huge accumulation base.
7 years straight, bro. 7 years straight. Just look at it, right? Like here, it started practically just going sideways, but the real sideways, whatever the regions was. Here, like this is where the like sideways quote unquote trend starts. This is where the sideways, price market movement happens, regardless whether we put it in here, uncorrelated it here for the range highs, doesn't matter. Here, the deviation, of course, from the COVID. But long story short, like 7 years accumulation, technical principles tell you that the longer the accumulation phases, the bigger in size the upper side of the cycle also gets, to ensure some sort of like proportionality, proportions into that. Like, I don't know, guys, what are your thoughts on silver?
I really like silver. I mean, there's a lot of arguments against it, and I think precious metals haven't moved this year because real yields haven't allowed them to. But I think, I mean, it is a matter of time until monetary policy does change the other way. I mean, I'm not a perma bear. I'm not a bear of any kind, but whenever in the next kind of three to 6 months, whenever I do cash out a large portion, I already own a portfolio of silver miners. I have a portfolio of uranium miners, which have done incredibly. But so I might buy some, what's it called, a bit of real estate. But I do want cash now. After being balls deep in crypto for so many years, I kind of do want cash, because at some point interest rates have got to go up. At some point there has to be a mean reversion of monetary policy, and I think
what point do you say?
So sorry,
what point do you say in time when you expect that?
I have no idea. I mean, it could be in a year, could be in 5 years, could be 10 years. I don't know. But I mean, if you look at kind of central banking systems, the Federal Reserve, it's, what was it, 1913, I think, that it came about. And there's been, is it 3? I haven't looked into this in a while, but I mean, they are cyclical. So we have like a central banking or kind of financial system in place, and it does change every now and again. So I honestly don't know, but I think in case of a complete financial meltdown, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not a bear, I'm not a perma bear, but when you look at the indices and you look at what's going on, and like interest rates can't really go down much further. Real yields are already negative. Housing prices are going up. Money supply, it is a bit scary. So I think holding silver, whether that's silver miners, paper silver, physical silver, and cash, it is good, because if you look at Bitcoin, what it's done in the last 10 years, you look at the indices. I mean, I'm a bit scared over the next kind of 5 to 10 years. So I don't know. I think holding a big cash position and simply waiting for good opportunities will be a good move in the next kind of over the next decades. But
so you're going classic. Classic. Yeah, sorry, JJCycle, let's go on.
I think what this monetary system needs is a new anchor.
Yeah.
Why is that? Why you think so?
Because the majority is slowly losing faith in the worth of their fiat.
No, I completely agree. Listen, I'm just questioning that for the people to understand. You dropped the link in there, right? So can you do you want to talk about that for a second?
This is just something in addition to if you're looking to go into commodities. I think this is interesting to understand. For me, it's a bit hard to can somebody explain what this shows?
Yeah. So basically, Ottavio Costa, by the way, I respect this guy a lot. He's very, like, I should say, credible, reliable. But it doesn't mean you should follow him inside out 24/7 and expect him to spoon feed you, right?
No.
Just like many people would do. But what it says is that the aggregate capex for commodity producers is still declining by 34% on a year-over-year basis, lowest in 15 years. Well, the capex, the way I understand it, is for the financial projections, for the financial kind of like trajectories that the miners would have in here, for the commodity producers, basically, right? So it includes the food market, it includes the the energy market. The energy sector, it includes the metals, industrial metals, like like ferrum, like copper, of course, like aluminum, steel, and so on. You also have precious metals in there, and the food market, right? You have the live cattle, you have the grains, soybeans, and so on. So basically, it tells you that year over year change, right, of the past 15 years is actually in the lows. Let me play this. Oops. Right. So we are in the lows. We are at approximately, what is that? 40% lows, right? No. It's 40% lows. That's what it says. Declining 34% on the year over year basis. So what that means is, well, the commodity producers, be it the miners, be it the food producers, they have suffered, right, because of the, well, overall fight and the bear markets on the that you had, for example, over the silver, right? The silver wasn't really profitable for mining too much, I suppose, because it was going flat. And it's basically, it's funnily enough, inflation is being pushed by producers. Inflation is being pushed by the miners. And based on the let's say overall demand on the miner side, you get the inflationary reaction based on the interest rates, like the Fed the central banks are supposed to set up the interest rates based on the commodity producers. This is funny. Not many people know that, but this is basically what leads it. And here, the way I read it is that there's been quite a heavy underperformance, right? Where you can see definitely historical lows are being tapped, historical low levels, okay, over the average, basically year over year change of the average. And it's in the lows. In the lows means cheap, means perhaps good buying opportunity, right? It's been underperforming. It's been not really going too well. But because it's not been going too well, right? Well, perhaps you want to buy it, right? You want to buy the cheapest companies. You want to buy and take over the companies when they're in their south, when they're in their bottoms rather than tops, right? So that's the way I read it. I mean, to me, it looks like yet another confirmation for the commodity markets, which is, of course, not in the mania phase yet, but with the overall, sentiment that changes, like inflation is going viral. Many people talk about inflation right now. With that happening, I think it's not really, I should say, distant vision for commodities to go up. One more chart, right? And I remind, if you want to guys share your charts as well, feel free, go ahead. People are used to seeing my screen and my charts already. Let's play the Bloomberg Commodity Index, one of my favorites. So this is basically futures contracts. Oh, nice. I haven't checked on this chart for a while, but it seems it's being nicely respected so far. Fair enough. So this is weekly. I wanted to pull off also monthly, right? We're talking about monthly, and this is Bloomberg Commodity Index. So Bloomberg Commodity Index, again, it includes and wraps up the aggregate of total commodity sectors, right? For energy, for food, and so on. So then you had whatever happens in here, you may see some local throwbacks, pullbacks, somebody how we named that. But regardless of what's happening in here, this early this year in February, we saw this breakout over I think this was 50-month average. What it says. Yeah, it's 50-month average, right? So 50-month average. So it's first actual strong breakout ever since, where the commodities went into the bear market with silver peak in 2011, gold peak, and so on. So the last time this happened, this bullish cross happened, and it was not really too bullish. It happened in here. So the latest case of the same bullish crossover right? When then with this difference that it was just heading south with the bear market, we are talking about commodities showing strength for the first time in years on average. And on top of that, this trend, this long-term trend is actually curving up right now, right? So in my opinion, like commodities is the place to go. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
I
mean,
think,
go on, Carl.
yeah, I think for a long-term play, like to like where you can put your capital at and like basically have a pretty much SAFO long-term play with a nice gain in sight for the next 10, 20 years. I think yes, this is the right place to be at. Obviously, it's not going to do, I don't know, 50, 200% in a day. That's not gonna be happening in on that cases, but like for like huge amounts that you put on the side and you just simply accumulate the profit and go basically also see it as a hedge against the inflation. That's wonderful place to be at.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do think inflation's gonna top for a bit though, because I mean everyone's shouting from the rooftops, oh hyperinflation, oh it's gonna keep going up. I mean I'm not saying that it's transitory, but I don't think we're gonna see some crazy hyperinflation because you gotta like the increasing the money supply that doesn't directly lead to inflation just like that. Got to look at the velocity of money. You got to look at where the money's going to, and if you look at the kind of the
it's all going into assets.
Yeah. It's all being sent to the banks, and it's all going into assets, and asset inflation is a direct result. But I mean, that 6.2% CPI print, I can't see us going much higher than that. Might take a while to play out. Might have another little uptick. But yeah, I'm fully expecting inflation to stabilize and to come down, because a lot of it was supply side issues. I mean, whenever you have obviously everything, the global economy was basically turned off, and if you look at in the UK, there are issues with HGV drivers and all that, and in Poland and Germany that was quite bad as well. But although we are having some lockdowns in Europe, I do think the main crux of the supply side issues. I think all the global companies have had enough time to adapt now. So I am expecting inflation to come back down. Regarding commodities, like I think gold and silver are going to break out. I think gold's going to 2,300. So it's a good play if real yields allow it. That is. But yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one to like if you look at the price of lumber and all that stuff, that how high all those commodities went last year. But I yeah.
Seen it. Yeah, the rocky way doesn't need to like go up straight forever, right? But talking about like some real long-term, let's say, directions. Well, there I can quote this guy that was saying we are in deep shit, right? But that is for long term. JJCycle's buddy, do you have your thoughts on that? Perhaps you want to comment on that before we move to another point.
What exactly?
Yeah.
Well, about the inflation, about like you think inflation is supposed to like soar a bit more, or like upticks, downticks. You have some thoughts like you want to share? If not, that's fine.
I'm not sure if it's realistic to think that they can increase the rates next year already.
Me neither, to be honest. I don't think so either. Yeah, the problem is
Yeah.
sorry, I keep interrupting, but there must be some sort of like couple of seconds of delay. Sorry about that. Now, but what I'm saying is that I have this impression that, of course, like this is one-way ticket basically, and with having so much money printed, we're having so low velocity of spending, so low spending. It's basically like a case ready for a financial disaster, right? You only have to kind of like trigger it. You only have to light it up, right? Light it up and it's going to blow up, literally. But before that happens, it's not really like lit just yet. But one of the triggers could be if they rapidly, all of a sudden, do as they actually promised they do. I'm referring to what Fed said, that they would want to see rate hikes in 2023. But the problem is that with so much money printed, this can actually blow up their insights. This can blow up, their entire like ecosystem. I mean, like economic system, this actual economy, because like it's easy to let inflation soar, but it's not really easy to control the damage and take it all back, right? This is like a one-way ticket, don't you think?
Yeah, if you like I was watching a video last week, and they were summarizing the sort of crises that are currently in the world going on, and the list is as follows: we have an energy crisis, we have a COVID crisis, we have a climate crisis, we have a refugee crisis, we have a monetary crisis, we have a China crisis, we have the bond crisis, we have labor crisis.
Do you know them by heart or what?
No, I'm just reading a list right now. And then we have the transport supply chain crisis. Like it's playing out.
It's crazy.
And I think it's in the video they said that we shouldn't call what is going on right now hyperinflation, but perhaps we should call it a superinflation.
Same thoughts, basically, same thoughts. Okay, listen, I think we have about like less than 15 minutes before we need to switch to another show. But let's perhaps agree to take like last 5 minutes and give it to a couple of questions. So guys, make sure, because if you've just joined, if you're new to our 14-day free trading congress, welcome. To start with, I want you guys to smash the like, hit the subscribe button, and as well leave some kind comments for our guests, for JJCycles, for MacroCRG, for Kong. And basically, we're going to take last few minutes to answer some of your questions, if the guests are okay with that. If not, I'll just handle it myself. But besides everybody, I just want to say that we have a special giveaway going on. A special giveaway where you can basically win 1 month of exclusive Nest Club, which is a monthly subscription to our community, to our private side of the community, the Birb Nest, which exists since 2017. So it's been quite some time already. We've been on through the bull markets, bear markets, and you can get completely free and save so much money. And basically exchange this chance of a giveaway for standing a chance to win this giveaway on knowledge. And knowledge is always 100 times more valuable than any money you can ever get. So you buy the knowledge with that, but there you have stand a chance to actually win it free. And go ahead, there is a link in the description to this video on YouTube. If you're watching that on Twitter, switch over to YouTube. There is a link in the video description to the giveaway, and you have to put in a special giveaway secret code that is displayed right now in the screen, and it's basically 2 letters, CT of Crypto Twitter. CT. Go ahead, put it in the video description, link to the giveaway. And moving on to one of the main points before we hit the Q&A part, guys, I'm basically super curious to know your best trading technique, your best trading kind of like practice that you have. Like, is it some sort of like a routine that you have a daily when you wake up? For example, I run, right? I'm not really a day trader, short-term trader, but when I run, I have this sort of like a routine build, which is something that I love. Do you have a special routine while checking through the charts, while analyzing when to open positions, how to time it? MacroCRG, let's start with you, buddy.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know. To be honest, I barely trade anymore. Like, I just kind of, I don't know. I did so well just holding throughout 2020 and this year. So there's no real need for me to trade. But whenever I cash out big, I'm going to fund a massive trading account, and I'm going to start actively getting into it again. It is, like you said, running. It's clarity of mind is the edge, because like if I know personally, if I'm sleeping well, if I don't eat well at all, but it does help. And it just helps to view the market overall. I cut everything down very simply. A lot of the time I get comments on my chart saying, oh yeah, you call that technical analysis? I can draw an arrow too. But more often than not, that's all you need. I start with a clean chart every day, clean charts every day. and I go through all the time frames, highlight a few levels, check the moving averages, and that's pretty much it. I mean, if I was actively day trading or scalping, obviously I'd address it differently. But I think clean mind, clean chart, clean perspective is what I'd say.
I love it. Yeah, Kong, what about you, buddy?
For me, to be honest, it is simply going on FTX or Delta and then just going for the daily change and looking at the worst performing assets of the day. And then, for example, for FTX, they have the threshold of like 100 million of 24-hour volume. So basically, that anything is like crashing for the day and has over 100 million in 24-hour volume. This is what I'm basically just buying in and then flipping for, I don't know, 10, 20% or like, like basically a quick profit that I'm flipping every single day because I believe that at that point that it is basically becoming undervalued, that it's hitting levels that it shouldn't be hitting. And as long as it's like not, for example, today it is Zcash. Zcash is down 11% and has volume of 131 million. But I'm not touching that one because for that one, I don't want to be memed into a community member of Zcash. That's like, I have a couple of coins that I'm simply not touching. But any other coins, those I'm just getting in as soon as I see a nice couple of green numbers, I close the position and next day simply do the same.
Okay. I'll take it. JJCycles, what about you?
Yeah, there's this a small thing that I have to keep reminding myself of, and I think everybody has some sort of trick that works for them to make money. But I think also everyone makes this mistake a lot, and that when you have a successful trade, you're in this sort of euphoric state, which makes you want to buy another setup immediately after the other. So what I did, because usually when I go from one successful trade directly into another one, usually I make a mistake in the next trade. So in order to prevent that, I just implemented this rule that I have to wait a day to go for the next trade.
Okay. Yeah, those are some valuable tips, to be honest. I mean, what I fully and completely agree with on top of what you guys said is that clean chart means clean trade. Messy chart means messy trade, right? It's a very straightforward, very simple kind of like role extension, like thought process, whatever you name that. And the truth is that if you like, I see so many people actually do it in the charts, on Twitter, and they of course like whenever I post a bullish chart on Bitcoin hitting like $100,000, they come up with their like 50 indicators chart telling, okay, this is going to go down, right? Which of course I cannot really take seriously. But one of the main questions that every market technician, that every trader, technical trader, if you base it on if you base it on not something else than the TA, then ignore that. But if you're a technical trader, then you have to understand what does a technical trend mean to start with, right? So you have to understand what kind of like sequence you are part of, what kind of like tendency of the market you are part of, right? Whether the market keeps climbing up, whether the market keeps climbing down, or it's just going sideways chaotically, like in whatever pattern you come up with, right? So to help yourself on that, you want to play very simple stuff. Basically apply moving average, right? So moving average is, if not the simplest, then one of the simplest technical analysis tools. It's not even technical, it's just statistics, right? It's pure maths. It's moving, it's dynamic arithmetical average, even if you play SMA or whatever weighted average, doesn't matter. What it tells you is the trend. Basically, you can turn off. I'll tell you what. Let me share the screen very quick before we hop to a quick giveaway. To a quick giveaway as well, and the Q&A. Right. So you have the Bitcoin. Why is it not showing anything? Let's play some average, right? I assume this is like 200. 200 average. Daily, whatever, weekly, daily, free daily, it doesn't matter. So basically, what you can do, like to understand what kind of trend you are in from the like high time frame point of view, 3 day chart is long term chart. Okay, this gives you a scope of basically almost 2 years of price data. So what you can do, I hope it displayed. Oh shit, it's not displaying. Okay, so it's here, right? What you can see, this is this 200 moving average applied on 3 day, right? So this 200 moving average tells you about the market direction. It tells you about the trend. And well, if you don't need to, like, you can turn this off. You can turn this shit off even. You can hide it. And this is your trend. Like, that's the trend, right? That's the trend. Only thing you have to do is you position yourself along with the trend, right? You don't want to fight the tape. You don't want to fight the trend. That's it. As simple as that. You can even turn, if you have struggles over understanding, what trend you are in, just turn off the price chart and leave the moving averages. That's it. Simple stuff you can come up with. Very simple tip. Okay, listen, everybody. We have about 2-3 minutes. Let's get one question each. Okay, is that good? Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Okay. What do you guys read? Do you have your favorite book, perhaps, about trading? JJ.
It's from a Dutch guy, actually. I'm not sure if you guys know him, but his name is Willem Middelkoop.
Okay.
And he has a lot of books on monetary history and the fiat system, and he's talking about the big reset. So it's definitely getting more important these days.
Okay, I love it. Okay. There's Tragic Garlic. I love the name. Any specific commodities, or should we wait? Should we use index trackers? Do you have your thoughts on that, MacroCRG buddy?
I mean, you can look at regarding, I don't know about any wider commodities, but regarding precious metals, I mean, either just look at the spot price or look at ETFs. So there's SILV and GDXJ for the junior miners. I don't know. I can't really add any value to this question, really. You either watch spot price or the ETFs. Are there any widely used precious metals indexes?
Well, there is definitely quite a few of them, right? The easiest case is you can Google that at any time, 24/7. I highly encourage some proactivity on your end. Waiting, of course, questions are fine, but have some activity, have some energy and effort. This is going to double your actual result on that, right? Go ahead, make some effort, do some research about putting for example, ETF for silver, right? So you put in the ETFs for silver tickers, you're going to come up with a couple of them. Just do research about that. It's very, very simple. Last question to Kong. I think this is to me, but I'll answer probably the same that you, but I want to hear you talk. Kong, what about the silver? Very quick, 1 minute. Do you two talk about coins? Do you talk about bars? What is it?
For me personally, I like from what I like the most. These are the 5 kilogram coins. Those are for me literally the nicest way of storing silver, but also having like a nice and huge amount of like 1 ounce silver coins makes a lot of sense for me. Simply because you can, let's put it in the very worst case possible, you would be able to use those silver coins way more easier than the 5 kilo silver coins, and way more. It's just simply the usability of that one. The bars, obviously, if you're going with a huge amount, bars do make sense. But from like what looks more aesthetically to me are the 5 kilo silver coins.
I love it. Okay, everybody. I think this is the time for us to actually appreciate enough the time and the wealth of knowledge and the generosity that MacroCRG, JJCycles, and KongBTC, my good, great friends, great, amazing people have just shared with you. Listen, if you appreciate it, you have to go and check out their Twitters. It's JJCycles, just like the way it reads. It's MacroCRG, it's KongBTC, all the handles in there. Go ahead, give them a follow. See what they do. I think this is very valuable knowledge that I've just shared, something that you can actually apply easily, and that this can save you like lots of money. This can save you and stop from making expensive mistakes. If you like it, make sure you can actually just, again, smash the likes, hit the subscribe button, leave some kind comments. I'll do my best to, along with my team, follow some of the questions and answer as many as possible. Final reminder before we close off, for the giveaway. You're going to find the giveaway in the video description on YouTube. The only thing you have to put in is the secret code, which is basically CT, 2 letters, CT. Very simple stuff. Stand your chance, get your chance for 1 month of exclusive Nest Club membership in the Birb Nest. Knowledge is way more precious than money ever gets. So it's definitely valuable. Make sure, guys, you actually also join for our 14-day free trading congress. If you have not yet, a very simple reason is that we have about 3 days left. The congress ends on Thursday. It basically ends on Thursday. So if you have not joined yet, this is completely free of any charge. There's like 2-step introductory, like 2-step. You press on 2 clicks on the buttons and you're in. And that's all you have to do. And free of charge membership, all the access to what we do in the Nest. And the 14-day free trading congress, everybody, day 11 continues with another sessions. I need to run right now. I appreciate your time. Gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. I appreciate your time. God bless you all.
Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Thank you for having me, man.
Take care. Bye-bye. Stay safe.